Is Josh Allen rewriting what it means to be a franchise quarterback? Every season, the NFL crowns a new king, analysts argue. Social media explodes. Stats get tossed around like confetti. But while everyone's watching the usual suspects, Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar, a storm has been building in Buffalo. A 6'5", 237-pound juggernaut isn't just playing quarterback. He's transforming it, shattering records, silencing critics, and bulldozing through defenses like they're made of paper. This isn't hype, it's carnage. Because what Josh Allen is doing right now, we've never seen it before. A red zone killer with elite weapons, a rushing game behind him, and total control of the field. He's not just torching secondaries, he's changing the entire equation of how football is played. From reckless gunslinger to full command field general, Allen's grown into the one thing no defense wants to face, a quarterback you literally can't game plan for. And just when people thought the Bills were fading into irrelevance, Allen's turned them into Super Bowl nightmares. But this isn't just a comeback story. It's more than MVP talk. It's about domination, and what might be the greatest transformation in modern football. But here's the twist. Is greatness enough, or will Buffalo once again fall just short? Let's get into it. Josh Allen wasn't supposed to be this good. Back in 2018, when the Bills picked him 7th overall, the reaction wasn't just skeptical, it was brutal. Too raw. No accuracy. Strong arm but no control. NFL analysts called him a project at best, a bust at worst. He came out of Wyoming, a school most fans couldn't even point to on a map, with a 56% completion rate and a highlight reel that looked more chaotic than calculated. At the time, it didn't just look like a risk, it looked like a reach. Critics pounced. He was labeled the least ready QB in the class, and when you stack him next to polished passers like Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, it was easy to see why everyone was betting against him. But Allen heard it all and turned it into fuel. In less than 3 seasons, that project became a problem. Armed with one of the strongest arms in the league and the physicality of a tight end, Allen evolved into something defenses still can't figure out. Year by year, he cut down turnovers, upped his completion rate, and turned raw athleticism into ruthless precision. That wild kid from Wyoming? He's now the blueprint for the next generation of quarterbacks. And let's talk about what really flipped the switch: his leadership. This isn't just a physical upgrade. Allen's learned how to own the moment. Pre-snap reads, clock management, red zone patience, he's tightened every part of his game. That chaos? It's become controlled aggression, the kind that turns third and long nightmares into back-breaking drives. Now, with MVP-level numbers and total command of Buffalo's offense, he isn't chasing respect anymore, he's demanding it. This evolution isn't just impressive, it's terrifying. Because Josh Allen didn't just silence the doubters, he's made them vanish. And what he's doing now, with the pocket poise of a seasoned veteran and the mobility of a running back, it's not supposed to be possible. But stats aside, what Allen's doing on the field this year? It looks like a glitch in the system. Josh Allen's stats this season don't just suggest improvement, they suggest he's operating on an entirely different level. Through just 8 games, he's thrown for 1,833 yards, 13 passing touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. But that's not the shocking part, it's how he's doing it. Right now, Allen is completing over 70% of his passes, a stat once used to measure elite pocket passers like Drew Brees. Except Allen isn't a stationary passer. He's a dual-threat weapon running a high-powered offense with the precision of a sniper and the mobility of a linebacker. And remember how turnover-prone he used to be? That stigma is gone. By this point last season, he had 14 total turnovers. This year, just 4. That's a 70% drop. Think about that for a second. The league's so-called reckless QB has become one of its most efficient field generals. Most quarterbacks hope for incremental progress. Allen's flipping his old weaknesses into weapons. But let's go deeper: red zone stats. This is where things get absurd. In the red zone, Allen isn't just good. He's unfair. Defenders can't gamble on the blitz because he'll escape and run it in himself. Play contain, and he threads impossible throws off-platform from 30 yards out. 2 of his most recent touchdown passes looked like digital glitches, leaning off balance, throwing across his body, defenders in pursuit, and somehow, the ball still arrives perfectly placed in the corner of the end zone. That combination of power, discipline, and creativity is unheard of. And when you stack him next to his MVP rivals Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar, Allen's efficiency stands out. His completion rate is higher. His touchdown-to-turnover ratio is narrower. His red zone execution? Arguably unmatched. This isn't the performance of a quarterback having a lucky season. It's the numbers of someone who understands the entire DNA of his team, the defense, and the moment. And while analysts debate who the MVP frontrunner should be, Allen is out here taking games over by force. But stats only tell half the story. To understand why defenses are terrified to play Buffalo right now, you have to see what this 237-pound quarterback is actually doing on the field. Let's break that down next. You can't coach size, and you can't scheme fear. Josh Allen steps onto the field at 6'5", 237 pounds of absolute chaos, and every defender knows this is not your typical quarterback. He's built like a tight end, runs like a power back, and throws like a missile technician. When most QBs scramble, you breathe a sigh of relief. Just contain him. When Allen breaks contain, you start praying he doesn't run someone over. Or jump over them instead. Literally jump over them, he's done it. Multiple times. And you can't stop it. This isn't flash without substance. His ability to extend plays isn't just impressive, it's crippling for defenses. You push the pocket, he escapes. You close the edge, he drifts, resets, sideways, and slings a crossbody dart 40 yards downfield with one flick of the wrist. Defensive backs can lock receivers all they want. It's irrelevant if the play lasts an extra 6 seconds. That's 3 lifetimes in NFL coverage. And it's not just the highlight reels. Coaches despise playing him because he turns broken plays into backbreakers. When the pocket collapses for most quarterbacks, the drive usually dies. But for Allen, that's when he's at his most dangerous scrambling, drawing defenders in, luring them out of position, then delivering a dagger pass at full speed. Analysts have tried comparing him to Cam Newton, to Big Ben, even to Mahomes. But the truth is, Allen's an entirely different prototype. He combines physical punishment with controlled aggression. His stiff arms look like UFC knockouts. His pump fakes send linebackers flying. And his top speed at full stride looks fake for his size. There's a reason NFL defenders have been heard calling him the hardest guy to hit clean. You can't blitz him recklessly because he'll bulldoze a linebacker and keep going. You can't spy him because he'll hit the sideline and zip a 30-yard laser on the move. Off-script football is now scripted for him. And right now, this freak of nature isn't slowing down. He's just starting to figure it all out. But he's not doing it alone because behind every monster there's a system feeding it. And that brings us to the key piece most fans aren't talking about. Josh Allen may be the monster, but James Cook is the engine quietly making that monster untouchable. There's a reason Buffalo's offense now feels almost unfair. Defenses no longer get to pick their poison. And that's because Cook, in just his second season, has emerged as a legit RB1 threat, the kind that demands respect before the ball is even snapped. This year, Cook has already logged 867 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns on just 153 carries. But the real killer stat? Efficiency. In multiple recent games, he's ripped off over 200 rushing yards with less than 20 carries, including a nightmarish 216-yard performance where he made it look easy. And the very next week, 27 carries, 114 yards, multiple scores. That's not a fluke, that's firepower. When Cook is cooking, defenses can't stack the box against Allen, which means the RPOs look cleaner, the deep routes stay open, and the play action becomes deadly. And if Cook starts averaging over 5 yards a carry, which he's done multiple times this season, Allen becomes untouchable. Because now you're defending 2 different playbooks at once, one on paper and one created by chaos. Let's be clear, James Cook isn't just a speed back. He finds gaps, breaks tackles, and runs angry, and his presence forces defenses into hesitation. And in the NFL, hesitation kills. It gives Allen that extra second, that extra inch, that tiny sliver of space to make you pay. And here's the real twist. Cook could be just getting started. He missed some practice with a foot tweak this season, the kind of thing that would sideline most backs for weeks. Instead, he came back and promptly torched defenses. Again, that resilience? That tells you everything about the mentality inside Buffalo's locker room. Now, with Cook fully healthy and gaining momentum, the Bills' offense looks like the most balanced unit in football. And when you've got a QB who can run or throw for a touchdown any given play, backed by a rusher who can bury you in the run game, that's not just playoff ready. That's championship material. But this championship-caliber offense hides something beneath the surface, a weakness that could still tear the whole thing apart. Let's talk about that next. For all the chaos Josh Allen brings to opposing defenses, the Buffalo Bills have their own chaos brewing on the wrong side of the ball. Because while the offense is firing like an elite unit, the defense still isn't built to survive a war. And the deeper we get into the season, the clearer it becomes. If Buffalo doesn't get this fixed, they might not finish the job again. At first glance, the numbers don't scream disaster. Buffalo ranks in the upper half of the league in takeaways, sacks, and opponent passer rating. They've held strong in games against explosive offenses. But take a closer look, and things start cracking. It starts in the trenches. Losing Ed Oliver, their disruptive force on the interior defensive line, hit harder than people realize. Without him creating pressure up the middle, quarterbacks are buying more time, stepping up into cleaner pockets, and neutralizing Buffalo's edge rush. And when your pass rush slows down, so does everything else because your secondary has to hold coverage longer, put more strain on rotations, and eventually, someone opens up. Even before Oliver's setback, Buffalo's defensive line wasn't scary. Physical? Yes. Solid? Sure. But elite? No. They don't have a Micah Parsons. They don't have a Bosa. And in the AFC, where names like Lamar, Mahomes, and Burrow are roaming free, solid won't cut it when the lights go brightest. Then there's the secondary. Buffalo lost some key veterans over the last couple seasons, and the result has been inconsistency in coverage, especially late in games. Tight ends have hurt them. Misdirection has burned them. And tight, defensive playoff-style football? That's where the pressure tends to compound. Can they handle 4 TH in goal with the season on the line, or does the unit crumble without a playmaker to step up? The scary part is that we've seen this story before. Last season, Allen had MVP-worthy numbers, and the team still didn't even make the AFC title game. Momentum crushed by breakdowns in execution, particularly on defense. In this league, you can't just outscore opponents, you have to outlast them. And the Bills, as dangerous as they are up front with the ball, still haven't shown they can do that on both sides consistently when it matters most. Analysts are already whispering it, Buffalo's good, but they're still too top-heavy. Meaning, everything works as long as Allen works, but if the offense stalls even once, can the defense bail them out? Right now, the answer is murky. But here's the thing. There's a dangerous kind of energy around teams like this. The kind where momentum, belief, and wild talent can override flaws, at least for a while. And if Allen keeps playing like this, he may just drag this defense through the playoffs by sheer willpower. Still, the real test is coming. Because if the offense slips even slightly, will the cracks finally break wide open? Next up, let's talk about the race for MVP and why Josh Allen might be about to shock the league yet again. Stats don't vote, highlight reels don't cast ballots, and legacy only matters after the trophy's handed out. That's the brutal truth about the MVP race, and this season, Josh Allen is smack in the middle of the storm. Right now, Allen is putting up MVP-caliber numbers. But the MVP conversation isn't just about stats anymore, it's a war of narratives. And when you're up against names like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, or even a surging CJ Stroud, every small dip is magnified, every single interception, every close loss. It all stacks up not on film, but in perception. And perception? That's been Allen's nemesis since day one. The media once framed him as a reckless cannon with zero control. And even now, as he sets career highs in accuracy and efficiency, there's this lingering hesitation to crown him as the guy. Mahomes is flashy, Hurts is composed, Lamar is electric. All three play in big markets or carry media-heavy narratives around them. Allen? He's just consistent, dangerous, and playing in a cold-weather market that doesn't always get front-page love unless something goes wrong. But this year, the numbers don't lie. Allen currently holds a 70.4% completion rate, the best of his career, alongside 13 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and 7 rushing TDs through 8 games. That's 20 total touchdowns and just 4 picks. And if we stretch it out over a 17-game season, Allen is on pace for nearly 5,000 total yards, over 40 combined TDs, and one of the best turnover ratios in the league. Even Mahomes, who's still elite, has looked more human this season than in years past. Hurts has been great, but inconsistent. Stroud is making noise, but he's still the underdog rookie story. Right now, Allen has the stat line, the control, and the storyline to back it up if voters are watching closely. But here's the twist. MVP voters often reward the story, not the substance. Remember 2022? Allen had MVP-level results, but lost the narrative. Injuries, team collapse, and fatigue from voters who just kind of moved on gave the edge to others. It's happened to quarterbacks before Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan after 2016 dominating seasons with no MVP hardware to show for it. If Allen doesn't win MVP this year, it might not be because someone outperformed him. It could be because the hype machine backed the hotter story or the safer brand. But ask the teams lining up to play Buffalo and they'll tell you who the most terrifying player in football is. He's wearing number 17. And he's not chasing a trophy, he's chasing legacy. Now, the only thing standing between Josh Allen and a league-shifting season is whether this team can finally finish what they've started. Because this moment, it's not just about awards anymore. It's about redemption. This isn't just another hot streak. This isn't Mahomes versus Allen Chapter 7. This is Josh Allen's moment of reckoning. For years, the Buffalo Bills were the NFL's favorite heartbreak story. Super Bowls lost, playoff dreams shattered. Wide right. The Music City Miracle. And more recently, 13 seconds the collapse that still haunts an entire city. When Allen walked off the field that night, after going toe-to-toe with Mahomes and throwing what should have been the dagger, he didn't just lose a game, he lost control of the narrative. Since then, he's never said it out loud, he's never played the victim. But every drive, every touchdown, every fourth down conversion this season has felt personal. There's a different edge to his play. A focus that says, I'm done being almost great. Because here's the thing, a quarterback can't erase a city's history alone, but he can rewrite where it ends. This version of Josh Allen, he's not playing for highlight reels, or debates on morning shows, or MVP votes from sports writers who never suited up. He's playing for a title that's never been won in Buffalo. He's playing for legacy, his and theirs. And if he pulls it off, everything changes. No more wondering, what if? No more second-tier QB conversations, no more heartbreak lore. If Allen leads the Bills to a Super Bowl and this time finishes the job, he doesn't just win a ring. He reshapes the NFL landscape. Think about it. We've spent years locked in the Mahomes era. But eras don't last forever. Some end with a loss, others with a handoff. Allen's not here to play second fiddle anymore, not to Mahomes, not to Lamar, not to anyone. He's not chasing someone else's legacy. He's trying to burn his own path through history. But that brings us to one final burning question. Can they finish? Can the Bills, with a still shaky defense, a savage schedule ahead, and a city clinging to hope thicker than snow in January, actually win it all? It's not just about if Josh Allen is good enough. He is, we've seen it. Film doesn't lie. The question now, is this the year Buffalo finally stops believing and starts conquering? This is no longer about football. This is something else. Josh Allen is no longer the kid from Wyoming fighting for respect. He's no longer the quarterback trying to prove he belongs in the same tier as Mahomes or Jackson or Hurts. That era is over, because when you watch him now, the way he commands the pocket, the way he bulldozes linebackers like he's made of iron and instinct, the way he drops bombs downfield off 1 foot while defenders are draped on him, it feels like we're watching something new happen in real time. Something the NFL has never truly figured out how to defend. We've called him a freak, a beast, a prototype, all true. But what if we've been understating it? What we're witnessing isn't just dominance, it's the next stage of quarterback evolution. Allen is big enough to take hits from linemen, fast enough to outrun coverage, smart enough to tear apart film, and bold enough to make throws 90% of quarterbacks don't even attempt. He stands at the chaotic center of one of the most explosive offenses in the league. And he seems calm inside the storm. That's rare. The great ones always have that gear. Brady had it, Peyton too, Mahomes has it. And now, Allen looks like he's entered the club. Quietly, violently, unapologetically. But here's the part that matters more than arm strength or footwork, the part that should scare the entire NFL. He's getting better. More polished, more efficient, more mature, and still just as dangerous. That blend, that discipline with destruction combo, we don't see that often. Look at the AFC right now, it's not just crowded, it's a battlefield. Mahomes still reigns in Kansas City, Lamar has Baltimore humming, Joe Burrow was heating up before the injury scare, and new threats like CJ Stroud are kicking the door open. And yeah, they'll all have their shot. But if your season comes down to stopping Josh Allen, you better pray. Because he's not coming to play safe football, he's coming to bury people. And most importantly, he's done waiting, done playing the next-in-line role, done watching other QBs collect trophies while the Bills collect what could have been. Now it's violence in motion, decision through purpose, power with control. And when you combine that with a team that might just be peaking at the right time, that's not a playoff run. That's a warning. The monster isn't just loose, it's hunting. Right now, the MVP case is in his hands. The season's outcome might be too. But legacy? Legacy won't be built on one great year. It'll be built on one defining answer to the same question fans have been asking since 1990. Can Buffalo finally finish? And maybe, just maybe, they've got the one quarterback reckless enough, fearless enough, and lethal enough to finally turn that into a yes. The league will try to stop him. Some will write him off if he has a bad game. Fans from 31 other teams will hope he flames out like so many before him. But in Buffalo, they've stopped hoping. They believe. Because when Josh Allen rolls out of the pocket on 3rd and 12, and defenders close in from both sides, and a running lane opens up for just a split second, his next move doesn't just decide that play. It could decide history. Believe the hype. This isn't just a quarterback. It's a revolution under center. And the rest of the NFL? They're officially on notice. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth. Josh Allen isn't playing MVP football. He is the MVP. Smash the like button if you believe number 17 is about to make history. Drop your pick in the comments. Is this finally Buffalo's year to bring it all home? And don't forget to subscribe. NFL Madness is bringing you stories, truths, and chaos every single week. This is where football gets real. And for Josh Allen, it's just getting started.